everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Get Sweaty. I am one of your hosts. I'm Matt, and as usual, I'm joined by Ben, Saul, and 50. How are you all doing?
Doing good.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here with my window open, listening to the rain. It's like, man, I'm glad I'm indoors.
Yeah.
But listening to the rain usually makes me sleepy. How are you not falling asleep right now?
A little bit of secret, that's not water.
Nice.
I'm kidding. I probably will have to run and go pee in the middle of this, though. For those of us joining us again, welcome back. For those of us who are new, this is Get Sweaty. Basically, it's a show where we all go away with a top 5 topic. We come back with all our picks, and we talk and discuss with it. And somebody different chooses it every week. And this week, it was none other than 50 Shades of Geek himself who chose it. And I must say, this has been the hardest one yet. And yeah, that's right, my man. Now, if you would like to introduce it for us.
Okay, so it's top 5 video game soundtracks. Not top 5 video games, top 5 soundtracks from a video game. And I had one rule, only one game per franchise. And, we kind of decided that if someone has a game from a franchise and someone else has a different game from the same franchise, we kind of compare the two soundtracks and look at how the scores and soundtracks have evolved from one into the other.
Yeah, and I got a feling that probably won't happen, but hey, you never know, especially with some of the great series that are out nowadays.
Yeah.
So as usual, we start off with our honorable mentions. 50, you want to start off with that?
Okay, so my honorable mention kind of breaks the rule that I just set up, but not really, because when calling it a franchise is a very loose term, and it's from a Lego game, specifically Lego Dimensions. And I feel like every time I come on the show, I mention this game in some capacity. And hold on, I want to do a screen share, just in case nobody's familiar with that game. There it is. Share screen. This is Lego Dimensions. Easily the most fun game I've ever played. Basically, Lego took pretty much every franchise they could think of and threw it into the same game.
I've heard great things about it.
I love this game, and it's such a shame that they canceled it way too early. But yeah, it was very demanding. It was a Toys to Life game, which meant you have to buy the game, and then you had to buy the characters individually. See that there's like all kinds of different characters, and they had like Ghostbusters and like The Simpsons, Back to the Future. Now here's why it's an honorable mention, because pretty much all these franchises like Scooby-Doo and the Gremlins, they used the music from the franchise. And the only reason it's an honorable mention is because of one specific track, the song that was kind of like the main theme in the main menu screen, and in sort of a loading screen. And it was one track. It was 10 minutes long, but I could easily listen to that one all day. The other track that they used to kind of fill out the soundtrack that was original to the game wasn't quite as great as this one, but I think that one was so good that it earns a spot on my list just based on that. So that's why I decided to put it in an honorable mention.
Very
and
nice.
It kind of breaks my rule, but not really, because there's another Lego game on my list, but it's not from the same line of thinking.
Is that the only one you had?
What do you mean?
Only
The only honor.
I only had one. I was thinking about another one, but then just I figured just one would be enough.
Fair enough. Okay, Ben, what about yours, if you have any? Yeah, I know. Hold on, but I've been catching myself doing that a lot in my everyday life. And every time I think of 50 here, every time I say fair enough, it's like, God damn it. It's come my Veritas or Gravitas.
Fair enough.
I don't have any honorable mentions.
All right.
Okay, then.
And neither do I. So 50 came off better than us because he actually had something.
I have 3.
So you win.
One of them is Donkey Kong Country 3, which is an underrated entry in the Donkey Kong series. It was probably the first one that I ever played all the way through.
Is it the one with the big gorilla and
with the big
Dixie?
baby? Yeah. And you have to go find like all the bear tokens and stuff. Yeah, it's very, very underrated.
What I like. I think it's funny about that series is the first one he plays Donkey Kong and his son. The second one you play as his son and his girlfriend. The third one you're like his girlfriend.
And the cousin.
So it's like kind of like progressive like that. Kind of funny.
Yeah, like I said, it's a fun game. The other one is the reason why it's on the honorable mentions is because it does not follow 50s thing where about it has to be original. And it is Grand Theft Auto Vice City because of all the amazing music that is in there. That is still my favorite Grand Theft Auto game to this day.
Yeah.
And then the other one is my favorite game of all time, but because it's based on a movie, it's not on this list, and that is The Godfather, the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wanted to, and then I was like, it doesn't follow 50s
Exactly.
rules.
That's why it's on my honorable mentions. But yeah, that is a great adaptation of the soundtrack.
And check out the cutscenes in that too that aren't in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually tempted to hook up my 360 again and play it.
Just to quickly talk about what you said with the GTA Vice City, choosing the right song, even if they're not original, choosing the right songs that fit the mood of the game is also a very vital thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Creating a soundtrack for a game. So that's why
I'd say that one is still easily the most memorable one.
All right.
Okay, so since nobody else has any honorable mentions, we might as well just jump into the list. So 50, my man, start us off.
Okay, so
I want to give you a bit of advice. I figured this out last night for when it comes to screen sharing. Don't when you bring it off of the main video here, just leave it in the bottom. That way it's easier for you to pop right back up instead of having to share screen every time.
All right.
Yeah, trust me.
Okay, so here is my number 5. Now, I was considering 2 different entries from the same franchise, and eventually I went with this one. So my number 5 is Sonic Adventures. The first one, or the second one. Now,
So I have Sonic 1 as my number 4. That's not the same franchise, is it?
well, technically it is. It's the Sonic franchise.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog franchise.
Okay. Because, yeah, I've got the first one on my list. The very first game.
Because the first one has sort of musical tracks that kind of evolved into this one.
Okay.
That's why, like I said, we have the same video game from a different franchise, but we can talk about the evolution of
All right.
both tracks. Now, Sonic Adventures, this one is specifically DX, but Sonic Adventures is a game that I spent an absurdly amount of time playing it as a kid. I was considering either this one or Sonic Heroes. Now, I love the tracks in Sonic Heroes, but they're like half and half for me. They're kind of hit and miss. Sonic Adventures DX, the first Sonic Adventures, just has more memorable tracks from Sonic Heroes. And they did what a good video game with multiple characters is supposed to do. They have a different song or soundtrack for each playable character. So like when you kind of on the main adventure, whether you're playing as Sonic or Tails or whatever, you run into one of the characters and you hear their theme playing in the background. When you play as those characters, you kind of hear their song playing in their cutscene when they're alone. So when you finally finish the game, you hear the full version of the song because they have like shorter versions of the song for whenever you meet them in cutscenes, and there's like the full song when you finally finish that character's part of the main story. And I really like that's how you use a soundtrack correct in a video game, in my opinion.
Right on.
And also, like I said, the songs are just more memorable.
Yeah, I'm just going to, because it is part of the same franchise, I'm just going to throw in my bit on Sonic 1 real quick. It's growing. I've only played the first 3 Sonic games. I never really continued after that. But this score for a certain period of time was constantly going through my head. I was always humming it. I was always picturing certain moments from that. That's why I put it at number 4, because it just ingrained itself into my head. The
Sonic games have this way of just having this music that stays with you.
Yeah, exactly.
The Sonic games are just built on speed and reaction, so they kind of fit that into the songs as well. And also, Sonic is one of those legacy franchises that keeps a certain piece of music or sound effect through every single entry. They just update with the console. Like when you finish a game, a level, it's like da 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 da, and that stays pretty much the same through all games. Just it updates with the console.
Very nice. Like, yeah, and what we're gonna do,
by the way.
Sorry?
Just like my number 1 pick. Spoiler alert.
What we're going to do afterwards is we're going to put a track representing every video game that we have on this list into our description, so we all can actually listen to those we haven't heard. Ben, you're number 5.
My number 5 is based on a movie, but I hope it's not cheating because I think it's original music, but I'm not 100% sure. Hold on.
Say it first.
GoldenEye. N64.
That's my number 3.
Nice.
We already have
Yeah, it's a great soundtrack.
It is.
Yeah, and every time I play, it's so memorable. Every time I play it, I just take me back and takes me into the game itself. It's fun. I love music, and the game always is so addicting. I mean, we probably all have the stories about playing multiplayer and that game, right?
And wanting to throw your controller through the thing because the boss was such a cheap son of a bitch. Yeah, I hated playing against that boss. Yeah, that was my first exposure to multiplayer, and yeah, there was a lot of basement fun when I was a kid.
It kept the James Bond theme, but then it played with it. What you see with all of the movies is that they put a variation of the James Bond theme. Matt knows what I mean when I say variation.
Yeah.
And of the James Bond theme in each movie soundtrack, and the fact that they also did it for this game. And you feel like you're in the James Bond world, but you're listening to different music, but it still correlates with the world that you're in.
That's what happened with the Godfather game. Like, obviously the main themes are there, but yes, they did play with the motifs and stuff like that, and they played them in different ways in different situations, and yeah, definitely made you feel like you were in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm putting it as my number 5.
Yeah, that's a game I haven't gone back and played since I owned an N64 many years ago.
I am so pissed I can't find an N64 and a copy of this game. In fact, I'm dying to play this game.
Oh man, I can only imagine how expensive that would be.
Yeah.
I saw Winston playing it on Twitch, and he goes, "This is much harder than I remember." So apparently people who go back to go play it say, "How did I play this game as a kid?" Because it's apparently so hard now going back as an adult.
Wow, who knew?
You don't really think about strategy too much. You're just going in, guns blazing, literally, and just shooting everything that moves. When you're an adult, you think you might have it easier because you're adult, you're smarter than that. Turns out it's the opposite.
And your patience is thinner as an adult than as a kid.
100%.
And I'll come to it. Who here besides me use a Game Shark?
No. Sorry, never had it.
Okay.
You either know what a Shark is?
No.
So Ben, do you want to explain this to the young folk here on our panel?
Yeah, a Game Shark, well, I'm really showing my age, is a cartridge that you put the game on it, and then it opens up, it makes you like unlocking all these machines. So you can have infinite ammo, you can have infinite health, all the guns.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it was a cheat code in physical form.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that. What was it? Game Genie, I think, was the one before that for the Super Nintendo, if I'm not mistaken. That's really aging me and Ben right there.
No, don't worry. A lot of my games are older just because my brother is the same age as you and Ben, so I played video games with him, so it's the older ones that I have. Not number 5, but most of mine. That's why GoldenEye's my number 3.
Yeah.
Honestly, mine are just the ones that I grew up with. Most of them.
2 of them are from me, and the rest I played in the last 10. Came on the last.
I think I have a recent one. I think I have a recent one on my list, and the most recent one is just like 2013 or something like that.
Well, my most recent one is actually my number 5.
Okay.
It is God of War 2018 with the score by Bear McCreary, who has done scores for The Walking Dead, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's
Nice.
done for scores for 10 Cloverfield Lane, the Child's Play reboot, Godzilla King of the Monsters. This is, it's very modern, but it has the old guard sound to it, right? It definitely, it's like we were talking about, it definitely makes you feel like you're in the world. And this is actually the only God of War game I've ever played.
Really?
I've never actually played any of the other ones. And yeah, it's just something about this score just stands out. You definitely, it plays with your emotions, which is what marks a good score. Yeah.
You could say
I've
he's
been wanting to play that game. It's on my list of to play. As I've said before, the last console I owned was a Wii. But I plan for my birthday, because my birthday is in January and I will be turning 27. I'm going to be getting myself the PS5.
Right on.
Obviously, I can't get it now because it's sold out, but I'm hoping by January 26th, it won't be.
That's my next console of choice. I'm definitely going to stay with PlayStation. Because their exclusives like God of War and like Uncharted and like Spider-Man are the better of the two consoles when it comes to exclusives.
Is the Harry Potter game exclusive? The upcoming Hogwarts game is that exclusive to PlayStation?
I think so.
I wasn't sure which one I was going to get, but when I saw a trailer for that game, and I assumed it was exclusive because it was on the PlayStation YouTube channel. I was just assuming it was an exclusive, so I decided to buy that one. Plus, my brother is getting himself the Xbox, so
Hogwarts Legacy. No, it's both.
Okay, but the Spider-Man one is still exclusive. So maybe
it's Spider-Man still exclusive, and of course, Uncharted and God of War are also exclusive.
Okay, cool.
All right, Sol, what is your number 5?
So my number 5, I was thinking of it, and it started as a joke. Obviously, a personal joke to me because we don't share our top 5 picks. So I was originally like, I'm just gonna pick the Wii music because just the dun 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 dun, dun, and I was laughing, and then I went, and my number 5 is the Wii Sports theme.
Oh, nice!
Because that is actually a legitimately good piece of music. So when you listen to it, it's basically just piano, bass guitar, and drums. And I just looked up the guy's name. It's Kazumi Totaka. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. And what I just found out is he also composed what my number 2 is. But so I'm not going to say that. But he's worked on Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. He composed that. He composed Yoshi's Story.
Wow, that's old school.
He composed Mario Artist, Talent Studio, Paint Studio, Polygon Studio, Luigi's Mansion.
Wow.
He did the 2001 Animal Crossing. So yeah, he's done a lot of work. I think his oldest work, it says here, 1992 with X, Mario Paint, Japanese game that I'm not pronouncing, Super Mario Land 2. So he's been working since 1992, and his latest one is 2020 with Animal Crossing's New Horizon. So this guy's been working and doing music.
What was his name again?
Kazumi Totaka. KAZUMITOTAKA.
Okay, for a moment I thought he actually was a co-composer or something with my number 3, but I was mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's mine. The Wii Sports theme is actually pretty good.
Yeah, my friends were worried because I used to bowl in youth bowling leagues around the time the Wii came out, and my friends were always worried I'd throw the remote for bowling through the TV because of how I bowled. Yeah, they were not fans of that.
That's what the straps were for.
Yeah, well, it's because you just do everyone would do this, but no, I do the full steps and I would actually bowl.
Yeah. What was funny is that I actually for whatever reason, I guess I found out the motion to use to keep getting a strike over and over again, and people be like, "You're cheating," and I'm like, "How am I cheating? I just learned the motion and I did the same exact motion." It was like body memory.
Pretty much.
Can I tell a funny story about Wii Sports?
Of course.
Not about me, but in the army, one of my commanders was this guy. He was an expert. I wasn't a tank mechanic, by the way, but he was an expert when it comes to mechanical stuff. Like he was fixing impossible stuff with his bare hands. He was screwing and unscrewing stuff with his fingers. The guy was crazy. Doesn't know jack shit about technology, about computers, about phones, nothing. He just knew nothing about that. One time, he went back to visit his nephew, his little nephew, and he was like, "Hey, uncle, look, I got this Wii Sports thing. I think you're going to like it. It's got golf in there." And he's like, "Oh, I like to golf. Let me just try this thing." So it has to be done with visual aids. So he does this. He hits the ball. The ball just stops just about a feet away from the hole. Okay, so he's just going to. So he's just okay. He's doing another one, and he gives it a small, gentle tug, and it goes behind the hole. So what does this 38-year-old man do? He goes around the television set. Yep, guilty.
That's like in racing games. I will be like this, and I'm turning right or left, and I'll go like this with my head.
Yeah.
Like if I'm trying to like win, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I moving my whole body to play this game?
That was me with the bowling.
But the golf thing,
like I would do even the tricks I do with an actual bowling ball. I would try to do it with the Wii controller, and it didn't work because I know how to make the ball curve like this in real life, but I couldn't do it in the game.
You're like, God damn it!
Yeah, pretty much
in physics.
Yeah, no, I know how to bowl it down the right side of the lane and have it actually curve and hit the far pin. And I also know how to roll the ball and make it look like halfway down the lane it stopped rolling.
Oh wow!
Yeah, with that one you just because I here in Terrace it's 5-pin bowling, so it's the smaller balls, so a lot easier to do these tricks with. But basically, instead of palming it like this, you palm it like that, and when you bowl, you just go like this. So it's going on a reverse trajectory, but then halfway it stops rolling, and then it goes normal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a question. Did Angelina Jolie taught you that?
No. No, I learned this way before Wanted came out. Yeah. No, secretly I've been part of the society for many years. It's just nobody knows. So I will have to kill you now at 50.
Okay. The good thing
why did you say that in front of me and Ben as well? Come on now. We want to stay alive.
This is the soda show.
I'm not worried about that.
But yeah, no, I used to bowl, like I said, I used to bowl competitively, so that's how I learned all those tricks. And one of the most fun is actually bingo bowling. It's where you have to hit all the different types of like you have to hit all the different things you can get in a bowling game. You have to hit it to clear it to win.
Where it's like only get the 10 pin or something like that.
Yeah, or you only have to have it so the 2 corner pins are still there, or if you hit the second pin from the right and everything else is still there. Oh, it's tough.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's very difficult.
Tough.
How much do you love a Big Lebowski stuff? Like whenever they show the movie. You love that movie?
The which movie? Sorry.
Big Lebowski.
Okay, that's fun, but for me, the ultimate bowling movie is still Kingpin.
Okay.
Yeah. And on that note, we don't want to talk about Randy Quaid's nipples anymore. So number 4.
Oh no, it's 50
My turn.
shades.
50. Sorry,
I just went.
I had bowling on the brain.
Number 4, I'm fine with it, but my number 4 is the Lego game that I've mentioned earlier, and this one is the first Lego Marvel superheroes.
Dude, those are good games.
Yeah, which one is your favorite of the Lego Marvel ones?
It's the second one actually.
The second one has. I'm one of those types of people that I enjoy small, stupid details that have no impact on the rest of the games. What I love about the second, not the second one. The second one was with King. I think.
Yeah. Second one's with King the Conqueror. Yeah.
Marvel's Avengers, different game altogether. Lego Marvel's Avengers. If you go to Stark Tower, or Avengers Tower, as it's called in the game, there's like this trophy room.
Yeah.
Where you keep rewards from all the different side quests you did, and I loved that, and I wish more video games would have that feature in it. But
All
yeah,
the Lego games have that.
no,
the-
not a trophy.
Yeah, or maybe we're thinking two different things. Because I'm thinking of once you get like your 10 blocks or whatever to make the object, you can go into room and watch that.
Not that. I mean, just actual. There's like a mission where you have to go around the city looking for squirrels, and if you complete that mission, you go to that trophy room, and there's like a squirrel running around the thing.
Oh,
like,
okay.
One mission you have to stop alligators with machine guns on their backs. Another mission you have to stop cuttlefish because Ulysses Claw for some reason is afraid of those. And there's like an aquarium in that trophy room where there's a legitimate an alligator with a machine gun on its back and a cuttlefish. That's what I mean by
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
we're going off topic. We're talking about the first one, not any of the sequels. This one came out on my second year in the army, and it was actually the best year of my military service. Let's not talk about the year that came after that, but it was my year of military service, and I remember it was announced in 2012, I think, and I spent most of 2012 hyping myself up for the game. And it came out late 2013, and it was just immediately became one of my favorite games. This was, I believe, that was the first one where you can actually customize your characters with superpowers, which was incredible.
Yeah.
But my favorite part about it was the music. I actually downloaded half the tracks and just listened to them in the army because no internet in the army, but or very limited, I should say. Limited internet in the military. So that's why I had to download these songs. So I'll have something to listen, like when I'm trying to go to sleep or when I'm just chilling in my room. But my favorite track, I believe, is in Castle Doom, in the boss fight where you literally fight the Green Goblin as the Fantastic Four and Nick Fury, because that makes sense. But that was my favorite one. I think that one is going to be the one that I'm going to put in the description below. Can we keep more than just one?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just pick out some of my favorites. But that's
I'm with you. Those games are great. It's just when it comes to the gameplay of them, I think I prefer number 2 more just because of the more open world, and it is also a whole whackload more characters.
Yes, and you can go to Asgard. You can go to all these different places. I think that one, the one we talked about earlier, Marvel's Avengers, I think that one has the best flying mechanics out of all of the Lego games.
You're right. The best flying mechanics, but it's not the best game, though.
Marvel's Avengers?
Yeah, the Avengers ones. I think out of the 3, it's the not the best one.
Really?
Yeah. That's just me personally, because honestly, I feel like that one I'm just playing the movies.
Yeah. With a lot of other characters that weren't even planned to be in the movie.
Yeah.
I get that point. I assume you just prefer the original story, like in the first and second ones.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Ben.
Are we on? What number are we on?
4.
Oh, okay, my number 4. Original More Youth. Can't remember if it came out in 97 or 99, but somewhere around there. Took into a different world every time I played it. Hold on.
Sorry, what was it called?
Pokemon.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not a Pokemon guy.
What?
I'm your age, but that completely skipped me as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
It was going up in Canada up there.
I might
a lot of
have
people here played it. It just wasn't for me.
Ben. I might have a Pokemon game later on my list.
Okay, well, okay.
But you're talking about Red and Blue, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the original, the
OG.
Generation 1. What?
Catch 'em, huh?
I will admit that theme song for that show.
The theme song.
Damn good.
I will say that for me, I watched some of the show. I never played the games, in all honesty. So I'm kind of the same with Matt, that it kind of like passed over me. But I would sing the theme song and they'd be like, "Oh, you play Pokemon?" And I was like, "No." I just love the theme song.
Did you guys ever see these the guys from who did Smosh Games years and years and years ago? I think when they were still teenagers, they made their own version of the Pokemon theme song. Like, well, it's still the same theme song, but it's their own video.
Nice.
I have not seen that. No.
I'll send it. I'll share it in our Facebook group.
Okay, cool.
Did you guys see? Speaking of Smosh Games, did you see the one where he did honest trailers for those things, and he had like funny names for all the Pokemon?
Yeah, I know.
It's incredible. And sometimes
There's this other person, Jenny Lorenzo, who does Abuela, a Cuban Abuela character in her YouTube videos, and she has where it was like a Cuban Abuela pronouncing all of the Pokemon names, and it was hilarious, like Charmander.
But like, when you turn on the game and you hear that opening music, and that made me want to get a copyright. It takes me back every time. I love it.
What's your favorite track from that game?
Yeah, like I said, the opening.
Okay. By the way, I'm working on a playlist for Pokemon music. It's not complete yet, but I've got like 35 minutes of songs in it. I started to kind of add video clips to it and put it on my channel just so I have something to listen to. But I'll put it in the Facebook. Well, actually, it's too big for the Facebook group, but I'll send it to you by email so you can listen to it if you like. Just it has a lot of Gen 5 music in it. Because Gen 5 has the best music in the franchise. And
I'll have to take your word for that.
No, because really, when I was putting this list together, I didn't want it to just, I wanted to be like shuffle. Didn't want to from Gen 1 to 2. And it's just, okay, so Gen 5, okay, music from Gen 3. Gen 5, music from Gen 4. Gen 5, music from Gen 5. That's how I basically organized the music of that playlist.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll send it to you later. It's a great listen.
Okay, I'll listen to it. We're gonna skip my number 4 because I talked about it when 50 did his number 5. It was Sonic the Hedgehog number 1. So, Soul, what is yours number 4?
So my number 4, let's take it back. We're gonna go to Mario Kart N64. Kenta Nagata is the composer, and Rainbow Road is my specific one because that was the one that I don't know why Rainbow Road that was the one I always wanted to play. I wanted to go on Rainbow Road. I wanted to listen to that music. I wanted to play. I will say I played as Princess Peach because that was the girl character, and I'm the only girl in my family. I have 2 brothers, and so it was very much like I was always Princess Peach. But later on, I started to play more Daisy because she was yellow, and I like the color yellow more than pink. But Rainbow Road. That's
a great tune. So, confession, I didn't play that game for the first time until 2 years ago.
Oh wow!
And it was at my buddy's birthday party, and he invited a bunch of friends over, and they played Mario Kart. And because I don't drink, I was
don't drink and drive. Don't.
Well, yeah. Every time you had to do a lap, you had to drink. And then you could take a pit. Yeah, you couldn't drink while driving. You had to like stop or whatever. And there was quite a few people that were completely smashed by the end of it.
That's my favorite is watching videos of like the don't drink and drive. So you have to figure out how to chug your entire beer during each lap.
Yeah.
And so you had to either like, I'm going to chug it at the beginning and then drive through, or I'm going to drive a little bit, stop, drink, and then continue. I think the best method is probably to chug it first and then go. But yeah, I love those videos.
Yeah, I saw it in real time.
And like most of the 90s music, it's very much synth. So you're going to hear a lot of synth, but even though it is synth, it is still like it's good stuff. Like you hear what is supposed to be like a flute or piccolo, but it's a it's a synthetic piccolo, pretty much a synth piccolo. Yeah, but great music.
I played more the Super Nintendo version. That's the one I played quite a bit of.
And the thing that pissed me off in the Wii version is that you no longer had the cheat. Because there's like when you were playing on the N64, there was a place where you can jump off and
Yep.
land where you were far ahead in the course, and they
Oh,
took
yeah.
that away in the Wii.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember that cheat. Oh, bastards. I hate it when they do that.
Yeah.
You hate
I
it when
tried
you,
it. I was the
When they
first time
take
I
stuff like
played.
that away.
So the first
Yeah,
time I
take
played the
something
Wii version, I
that's
was
not
like, I'm gonna make the jump, and then like I fell over and they put me back, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on Mario Kart?
I
Yeah,
never.
as a kid, I love the music too, and I love playing it.
Would you say it's arguably some of the best music in Mario?
No, because I might have a Mario on my list.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
So we'll get there eventually. So what is your number 3, 50?
we're back to me that quickly. Okay, so my number 3, coincidentally, is also a third game in a franchise, which is kind of interesting. It is, hold on, it is, I would say, the last truly great game in this franchise, and that is Rayman 3. Anyone?
Never played any
Nope.
of the Raymans. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you can, if you ask me, you can just pretty much skip the first one. But I grew up with Rayman 2, and it might actually be my favorite game that I ever played till this day because of just the amount of hours I put into that game. So when the third one came out, it was hard for me to say that it topped it. Fortunately for me, I did actually finish it because a little bit of a side story. Till to this day, I never finished Rayman 2.
Oh,
That stupid mother effing last boss, pirate guy. Since you've never played the Rayman games, Matt, let me just set the scene for you, okay? The final boss is on the tallest place on the robot pirate ship. He's got this huge, gigantic laser shooting robot at you, and you're just shooting him with your fists, okay? So basically, the boss fight starts. He's throwing helicopter shells at you. You have to bring the shells back at him, and then sometimes he just shoots lasers from his feet at you. So that you have to reverse the trajectory of the shells back at him to kind of do some damage to him. And after you do that 3 times, he jumps up into the air to try to smash you, and he accidentally breaks the floor. So the both of you are falling all the way down to the top to the belly of the ship, filled with lava for some reason, and the fairy princess saves you right before you fall to your death. She puts you on this sentient flying missile thing. The guy's still alive somehow. He's holding himself by grabbing onto these 2 giant poles that for some reason are made of wood, but they're not burning from the lava. And you have
I think
to
I found my new favorite thing ever to happen on the show.
And you're flying on this missile. There's this magic orb that you need to find. You can't touch any of the walls or the obstacles because you touch them, you die. You have to grab this orb while he's shooting homing missiles.
It's like a game of operation.
He's shooting homing missiles at your ass, and you kind of have to fly back to him. You're using the magic orb to shoot his hands to make him fall into the lava. And if you want to go, if you want to help yourself, you can shoot him while he's on the lava to help you with draining his HP. But after a few seconds, he jumps back up, and you have to find the orb again. And every once in a while, just to be a dick, he tells his crew to raise the level of the lava all the way up. Okay, so here's what. Then he's climbing up those poles all the way to the top. You have to fly back up to the top. And if you don't have your orb by the time you reach the top, you're screwed. Because the only way to lower the lava back down, you have to make him fall down to the lava again. If you don't have the orb, the only way to do that is if he shoots at you, and if you carefully fly and let the homing missiles hit his arms instead of you. That's how he falls back down to the lava. That's the final boss. I've still to this day never finished this stupid game. So I overcompensated by finishing Rayman 3 40-something times on both PC and PS3.
Spoken like a
PS2, sorry.
Gamer.
So we are going to clip this out, correct? Because
was
that
thinking
was
the same
beautiful.
thing.
Okay, hold on. There we go. I have it written down. Anyway,
I was singing the same thing, Sol. Thinking the same damn thing.
all right, I'll make sure to do that after the show. But the music in Rayman 2 is great, but the music in Rayman 3, one of the best music I've ever heard in a video game, because it's just music that you don't want to play the game. You just want to stop, close your eyes, and just listen to it. I have a few examples, and I don't even know which ones I'm going to put in the description, but it's very catchy, and the music also fits the levels that you're in, which is
Good.
hard to do in a lot of video games these days. But yeah, I would say Rayman 2 was the more enjoyable game, because Rayman 3 is ridiculously short compared to the second one, but the third one really overcompensated with the music. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
All right.
That was very entertaining. Ben, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is in the middle of a franchise, not at the beginning, not at the end. Also, N64 game, and that is Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Yeah. I was contemplating about a Mortal Kombat game on here.
Mortal Kombat.
It gets me going every time I turn this on, and I love this particular game because I think I know that side scroll one. Also, it's one of the only ones that in the early days that had pretty much everybody in it. You just had to unlock them. And that soundtrack, it's getting going every time you turn it on. Yeah, so damn good.
I actually don't recall playing that game. Like, for me, the one I played the most as a kid was Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
Okay.
That was
The
fun.
one
Yeah,
I
don't
played
recall.
the most was in the arcade, if we're
Oh,
all
yeah.
being honest here.
Nice.
I never played games at the arcade. I was always going to the arcade for like the things that kind of give you tickets
Oh,
to
yeah.
buy prizes.
Yeah.
I never actually played any arcade games back in the day, back when we still had arcades.
I probably the game I played the most in an arcade as a kid was Mario 3.
Okay. And then we were talking on the other show on Pop Culture Universe YouTube channel that even though I played it at home, the Pod Racer game for Star Wars on the N64, there's still the arcade one that like had the like you were doing this on the
I didn't
arcade,
know that was fun.
and we
I
were
don't
like,
know.
"What? How do I do this? Anakin really is the chosen one."
Nice.
I have a bit of a funny story. I'm full of funny stories today about not that Pod Racer game, the sequel, Racer's Revenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one's played it, I'm assuming. I had this one on in the army, and I played it with my roommate, who was just this guy who was always better than me in everything in the universe. He always had to beat me, and he always did beat me. So one time we were playing this game, and there was this one shortcut that I always used, and for some reason it never kind of clicked in his brain. It was on Tatooine, I think. There was this one shortcut that I always used, and he never did because he always forgot about it for some reason, and then he never remembered it. But anyways, kind of has you going through this ramp. You're going through a cave, and then it's like you're jumping through several different mountaintops. You got to be very careful not to fall off. So once time I actually went through that shortcut. I finally passed him, and I was like super excited that I passed him, but then I accidentally hit the wall and just got stuck in there and went all the way back to last. So my reaction to that was literally, yes, boom, shit.
So the last time I went to an arcade, this is back to bowling. They had a bowling machine there, and it was they had the runway and everything, but it was smaller. I broke it twice in one day. I snapped the strings on the pins, and then the second time I actually broke the machine.
I'm guessing you were not allowed to play that game again.
I have a picture of you, and don't let this guy in.
Pretty much, the thing closed not after before I moved actually moved down to Vancouver. But yeah, my friends were laughing at me for that one.
Then we can see your next pick, by the way.
Yeah,
on the bottom thing.
Oh, I can't see it.
It's all
Hey,
good.
if we can just take it back to Mortal Kombat for just a second there. Every time to this day, every time that I'm waiting for a traffic light to turn green, and I'm just standing there to cross, I'm standing around like this.
I hope to God that's true.
That is true. That is true. You think I'd say something untrue?
Okay, good point. Good point. So my number 3 is from the same era of what we saw for Ben's number 2. It's okay. The composer is Koji Kondo, who has also done the score for such games as Super Mario Brothers, Yoshi's Island, actually a lot of the Super Mario games, Smash Brothers, but this one is none other than The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Still one of the few games that I have yet to beat that I have started.
Really?
I've never finished this game.
Isn't that just frustrating?
It is, but what happened with me was I was playing on my original version, and then then I turned it off, and I went back on. Everything was wiped.
Oh no!
So I quit right there. Yeah, I quit right there, and then I didn't play it again until I bought the SNES thing that came out a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, I had a mini one, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, SNES Mini. I still haven't beat it either, but it's a game that's just fun to pop in every once in a while and pop on. But the music, it's just you could say it. A lot of gamers will know what you're talking about. Dun, 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 dun. To the point where I have the Master Sword in my tattoo.
Nice.
But yeah, this is actually confession. This is actually the only one of 3 Zelda games I've only ever played. I've played this, Majora's Mask, or Ocarina of Time. Other than that, I never really played them. But this is easily the best one for me. And same with the score. It is a memorable score. There's a reason why it's considered one of the greatest games of all time.
I was gonna say, as a band kid, you have to play Ocarina of Time.
Well, no, I've played it. I just never beat it. That's one of the few. And actually, in my local music store, Sight and Sound, they actually for a while there had an ocarina for sale.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I actually have a friend who owns one, and she was like, "I'm gonna learn how to play all of the Link music."
Yeah, and it sounds really nice in real life.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Okay, so
that's my number 3.
Little confession here. I've never played a Zelda game, but I am planning to, because you remember the story I told you on the first episode of the show I've ever been on, that I wanted a legitimate 3DS game to play the Gen 6 and 7 game Pokemon games. I actually bought one that's actually styled on the Zelda games. It actually came with a Zelda game in it. So I'm going to play it as soon as I find a suitable cable to charge the thing, because apparently it's not compatible with electrical cords in Israel. But
Zelda games are fun.
What?
Zelda games are fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
Also, fun fact: my grandmother's name is Zelda.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's funny how everybody thinks Link is Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry, what was that, Ben?
Link is the one I've been trying to understand, right?
Yeah.
And I was gonna say a fun thing too is I always play as Link in Super Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, me too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is Zelda playable in those games?
I think she is. Yeah.
I think she might be in one of them. Yeah.
Because I wanted to show it to my grandmother and say, "Look, there's a video game character based on you."
Aww.
Not based on her, but
yeah,
named after her.
So yeah, that's my number 3. So what is your number 2 there, Soul?
So I just wanted to go back and say with the number 3 on GoldenEye, I just wanted to say who the composers were. It's Grant Kirkhope, Robin Beanland, and I'm guessing this is a really weird way to spell Graham, so I'm just going to go with Graham Norgate. So just wanted to go off and say who that is, and then give it off to 50 to start the number 2 rounds.
All right.
That was pretty quick. So my number 2 is the only Israeli game on this list. And after last week, I think one is enough. And it's this one. Piposh. a game that got me into so much trouble as a kid, but I don't give a damn. Okay, this is Peeposh. He's a washed up, no good actor that can't handle reviews from critics, and he decided to take a break from life and just go on this cruise ship. And surprise, surprise, there's a murder. There's a murder mystery, and he has to solve it because he played a detective in the previous game. So, like, it's sort of a continuation of another game, except it's only a continuation in the sense that the protagonist of this game is an actor that played the protagonist in the previous game. It's a very meta thing. This game is like a mix of Knives Out with Deadpool.
Nice.
That for a second. It's Knives Out
or PC.
It's PC. This, by the way, is the sequel. As you can clearly see, clearly lost his mind. But this is the main one. He got on a boat on a massive cruise ship that is carrying a very valuable diamond. The diamond gets stolen, and every night the main suspect is being murdered by a mysterious murderer, and you don't know who the murderer is. You kind of have to guess by talking to the other characters. But here's the thing: remember when I said that this was Knives Out meets Deadpool?
Yeah.
The character is aware that he's in a video game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he talks to the audience. He keeps interrupting the game, and he goes to the side to talk, and he constantly yells at the game's director. He breaks the fourth wall. The fourth wall is just not even there. Like it's literally there. He walks off stage a couple of times, and it's like, shoot, I closed the window, but no, actually I did. There's like you can option. It's optional to choose dialogue, as you'll see in just a second. Okay, you've got these optional dialogues, and sometimes there's this dialogue is like, well, fuck you, I'm not saying that. Where's my stunt double? And it's like the stunt double voiced by the same guy who's saying the dialogue instead of him.
Oh yeah,
it's
very nice.
Like Deadpool before Deadpool was after Deadpool was in the comic books, but it was after before the Deadpool that we know him today. So basically, the character itself doesn't give a shit about the game. Okay, he's not even listening when people just drop important nuggets of the story. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. All I have to do is just get to the end of the game and then just do save and then just choose all the options again. That's basically his approach, and it's filled to the brim with original music. That it's just some of the funniest stuff I've seen. It's mostly played for laughs, from the storyline to the way the characters interact with each other to even the songs. And it's like most of the songs are just interludes, just funny. Most of them are just funny jokes that just appear randomly when you pick a certain option or something like that. But yeah, Peeposh, a game that got me into so much trouble as a kid because there's intense swearing in that game.
Nice. Okay, Ben, what is your number 2?
Okay, well, I guess you guys already saw it, but I'll bring it up. It's one of my favorite video game of all time. Every time I play this, I just go back to wanting to play a video game as a little kid. I also had the Super Nintendo Mini, and I was so happy to find this game on that. And what game that is? It is this. Super Mario World. I fucking love this game. I love the intro. Every music in this, I love it. It takes me to Mushroom Kingdom every time I play this game. And that's why it's my number 2 pick.
Yeah, it took me 3 years to fully beat the game the first time. Now I can do it in 3 hours. 100%.
Nice.
To make Matt in bed feel old, this game is older than me and 50.
Yeah, that is true.
Ouch.
Just look at the thing at the bottom there.
Yeah. How often do you go back and play this, Ben?
Not enough. I need to go back and play it again. I need to figure out mini NES I have.
So, funny story about this. So, a number of years ago, for my friend's birthday, we decided to have a pajama video game party because we hadn't done that since we were kids. And so there was alcohol involved and some weed. And
That's the different part from when you were kids.
Yeah.
The upgraded version.
Update.
So I had partaken in a lot of weed that night to the point where I was sitting there and I had my eyes were half closed. That's how stoned I was. Anyways, me and one of my best friends, we decided, let's pop in Mario World, and because there was a Super Nintendo there, and he didn't know how often I played this game as a kid. So we're sitting there, and I'm completely blazed out of my mind. And like 20 minutes later, we're done the first world, and he looks at me, and it's just like, I didn't know you were this good. I'm like, dude, took me 3 years to beat it, man. Like, I know this game back and front.
You can literally play it when you're stoned.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty much. It was all memory.
At least you weren't stuck, because I know some people who get that high and then it's just like you cannot move them. They're in their spot and they're stuck and they cannot be moved.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. I just sat on the one spot and played.
For those of you who have played, maybe not everyone here has, what color Yoshi was your favorite?
Oh, it's the OG Go Yoshi. Green.
Yeah, gotta go green. Although, like, if we're gonna say favorite colors, like there's yellow and purple, and I always like changing it up. But yeah, green. Yoshi's green. That's who he is.
Of course. Any of you guys ever played Yoshi's World?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's also on the SNES Classic, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That game gets a lot of unnecessary backlash, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember it all that much, to be honest.
I remember playing it.
It's the game when Mario is a baby and you're basically playing as Yoshi and you're
Mario 2. Yeah.
To keep Mario safe.
Yeah, it was quite the departure from what we knew was Mario, that's for sure.
That's probably why it gets the flack, is that it was.
But it's a good game. I don't understand what
it was a good game. I liked it.
What's everybody's favorite Mario game?
Oh fuck.
Ooh. I don't know.
I guess for the most fun, probably Mario Party.
Okay.
Yeah, Mario Party with your group. I'll give you on that one. But for me, I can't choose between these three. Mario RPG, Mario World. The other one is kind of a cop-out, but it's Mario All-Stars.
Oh, yeah, the one that wonderful. Yeah,
the one that had all of them and the original Japanese version of Super Mario World 2, which over here was called the Lost Levels. And goddamn, that was a hard game.
That was a weird game. That's the one where it's different. I can't
you're thinking Mario 2 we know, which is all they did was palette swapped a Japanese game for it. That's literally all it is. They just everything's the same except that they just palette swap the characters. No, the original Mario 2 is called Super Mario World: The Lost Level, Super Mario: The Lost Levels over here, and it's similar to the first game, but a lot harder. Okay,
I have something to share. I actually have downloaded. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yep.
I have this little bundle over here of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Sunshine.
Nice.
Ooh, Sunshine was fun. I enjoyed Sunshine.
I found 64 very frustrating.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's considered one of the hardest games, I believe, in the franchise.
Yeah,
although I haven't played any of the games on Switch, that's going to be my Christmas present to myself, is a Switch. So I'm going to get a Switch and then a PS5.
I like the orange style games, the side scroll. For me,
Mario is one of those transitioned into. Sorry, Mario is one of those rare franchises that transitioned into 3D perfectly.
Yeah,
like all of the games you mentioned earlier, like Sonic, didn't have the best transition, and people are getting big flack for the 3D Pokemon a lot. So a lot of video games that started out as 2D side scrollers didn't have the smoothest transition 3D, but Mario pulled it off.
And it gave my love for platform games, because like platform games are just they're easy as a kid, and then you like to play. Like, I don't know if they do this in Israel, but you know when your internet is out and it's just that dinosaur and you're clicking the space bar?
Yeah.
Why is that game so much fun? Have you not? So when your internet is out and then there's a dinosaur, if you click the space bar, it starts a game.
I've never tried that, but I gotta give it a try once.
And you press the space bar, and it's pretty much you're pressing the space bar to jump over stuff. Or like if there's a bird, you'll either jump over it or you'll keep running because the bird is above your head. And it's actually pretty fun.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Also, fun fact, I can't believe it took me this long to mention this, but my uncle's name is Mario. Now, obviously, he had to change his name when he came to the country. He changed it to Mayor, but his original name is Mario. So my uncle is Mario, and my grandmother is Zelda.
Is there any video game characters out there named Rajev?
Not that I'm aware of. It's also not my name.
He's gonna create one.
That's what it is on Facebook.
It's Regev.
See, I didn't know how to pronounce it. Okay.
That's why we're going with 50.
Good point. I'll call you Reggie for short. No, 50 it is.
Reggie is from Pokemon, technically.
Oh, there you go.
3 Reggies. Technically, it's 5 now, but never mind.
Okay, so this is my number 2, and this one was actually hard because I love all 4 games in the series, so it's really hard to choose one. But I went with the latest installment of the series, Uncharted 4.
Nice.
Oh God, I love these games so much. It's the only reason I have a PS4 was because of Uncharted 4. And for years, number 2 is my favorite, but then this one came out and just completely blew me away with all the stuff they did in this game. It is so much fun, so good. The music is great, especially when they're in the highlands of Scotland and when they're in I think it's Peru and they're in like all the different traditional music of the areas where they're in is integrated into the score really well, and it is so much fucking fun. I love the Uncharted games so much. That's why I hope the Tom Holland movie pulls it off. I hope, because there's some good stuff in this.
Hopefully, maybe it's the first video game movie that actually like people are happy about.
Outside of Detective Pokemon, but yeah, I hope to God. And have any of you guys seen the Nathan Fillion fan film that came out? What was it, last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was great.
I haven't checked it out.
That's another one I'm posting in the chat. That is literally a live action video game. It is so cool because for years everyone was like, "Oh, Nathan Fillion would make a great Nathan Drake," and this shows that yes, while he is older, so it really plays him out of it, he does play a great Nathan Drake.
And how fun the video! I really liked it.
Oh, me too. That's another one I'm going to share in the group here. But yeah, it was a toss up between this and 2 because, like I said, 2 for a long time was my favorite.
All right. I only played like a level of this thing because a friend of mine, he really loves those games and he wants me to start playing them. And are all these games available on PS4 right now? Because
yes, they remastered all of the first 3, and yeah, so they're all available.
Awesome. Because I had this weird obsession with completionism. Like I mentioned earlier, I went back and played Gen 1 of Pokemon, then Gen 2, all the way up to 5 because I want to play all the games in the franchise. That's why I haven't started playing the Assassin's Creed games because I want to start from the beginning. Same thing with God of War. A lot of video game franchises that I just want to start from the beginning, the way they were intended.
That's how I am with movies, but I can't do that with outside of the Uncharted series and the Batman series. I don't do that much with games.
That's probably what frustrates me the most with like Marvel comics sometimes, or even DC. And I think that's why like I read a lot more indie comics is because I'm like, oh, I want to start like let's read Daredevil. Where am I going to start in Daredevil? And I was like, oh, I want to keep going back. Oh, they referenced something that happened before. Oh, let me go back and find it. Oh, let me go back and find. And so it's one of those where it's like it's expanded so much. And you're like, I just want a contained story.
Yeah, it's like they all forgot what Stan Lee's rule was: treat every issue like it's somebody's first.
Yeah. When the Aquaman movie was coming out, I literally went back and started reading Aquaman. From 1943 all the way up to 2018.
Holy shit!
That's like 900 issues.
That's a commitment.
That is a commitment.
That's why I have a problem with starting something. I don't want to start in the middle. I always have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Jesus.
Wow.
Okay, that's like I said, that's a pretty big commitment. Okay, so what is your number 2?
So bringing back Kazumi Totaka here, who was my the 5 person who did the Wii Sports music, and that is another N64 game, Wave Race.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I don't think I've played that. I haven't played that one, unfortunately.
So it's basically people on wave runners and they're racing. So it's a racing game, but on wave runners.
Nice.
Okay.
And I don't know why I loved this game so much. And that was the first one that I thought of. So this originally was going to be my number one until I listened to the soundtrack of a game that I haven't played yet, which we'll get to when I get to when we get to the number one. But this game, I don't know why, I loved it, and I was like, "Oh, let me go listen to the music." And I recently re-listened to all of the music in it, and it was so good. So obviously, I like this this dude's music.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wave Race.
That's what, your third time with him on the list?
Second,
Second. Oh,
because I had him in the fifth.
right.
Wii Sports.
Wave Runner, right? Yeah, I think I remember the cover, but I don't. Yeah, I never played that, unfortunately.
But yeah, it starts like with the drums, and it's like dun 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 dun, and like it just like it goes in. It starts drums, goes dun 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 dun, and like it's like you're about to start a race.
So this,
Yes, that is.
Yeah, I remember this game.
I haven't even seen a frame of this. That's weird. All right.
But yeah, and it is one of the oldest N64 games.
Yeah, it's one of the first. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
It's one of the first, if not the first, N64 game. I don't know which one was the first.
Well, I'm gonna look that up.
I think it was.
That is what Google is for.
I think it was Star Fox 64. Super Mario 64.
Oh yeah, Super Mario 64. Yeah.
I'm guessing.
So the games that launched in North America for N64 were Mario 64, Pilot Wing 64, and Saikyo Habu Shoji. Oh no, it's in Japan. Sorry. In North America, 64 Pilot Wings. Yeah, those were the first two.
I think it was like in the second or third round. Then it was one of the very early ones. And you can tell from the animation, if you go back and like watch some like YouTube stuff of the animation from this game, you're like, this is old. But
Yeah,
I loved
right.
it as a kid.
It is one of the first ones. It came out November 1996. But Ben, you know what the third game released was?
What?
It was one on your list already, Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was the third game released.
You can tell.
Yeah,
I
so
know the game, but you can tell.
the first year, because they came out in September, was Pilot Wing 64, Mario 64, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Cruising USA. That's one I played. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, which is another one I played. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, Killer Instinct Gold, and Wave Race 64.
Impressively.
Pretty solid lineup.
Yeah.
Gotta get that Star Wars in there.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Definitely.
I
But
was just like,
Competing
I
consoles
want to pick a
compete-
Star Wars game, but then it's just like the original music.
Yeah. Plus, that original John Williams music would be number one. On
Yeah,
every,
number one on everyone's
Of course.
list.
Even list that don't involve music, it'll be just number one.
Okay, so 50. We're on to the number ones. What is yours?
Okay, so my number one is a game that I've already referenced previously in the video, but now we're finally getting to that one, and it is this one. Pokemon Black and White. I've mentioned it earlier in this video. Generation 5 has the best music in the franchise. And this game, first of all, this game put this is where the developers really put an emphasis on both story and music, and it has the biggest and most complete soundtrack in the entire franchise. I believe it's the only game that they have a separate musical track for when your Pokemon's HP is low, and they also have a separate track for when the gym leaders are on their final Pokemon. And even that track is one of the best ones, that it actually incorporates elements from Ben's favorite track from the first one. It's a mix. It's a bit of a remix of the main theme.
Oh, no.
Da, 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 da 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 da, da. And it's the reason why I mentioned earlier that I have this long 35-minute list of playlist of music, and that's the reason why Generation 5 has the most amount of tracks on that particular playlist, because they're just so good. I love Elder's theme, the champion. I love one of my favorite music in every video game is Drift Vale City, the background music. It's the only game where I specifically didn't want to use the bicycle, because I just wanted to listen to the main theme. It was playing in the background, and when you get on the bicycle, it changes the theme music. So yeah. Well, I had something else I wanted to talk about. Hold on, let me just get my thoughts together. And oh yeah, I know I'm in the minority on this, but the Team Plasma theme in Black and White 1, in my opinion, is better than the theme in Black and White 2, because they changed it up in the sequel. By the way, it's the first game in the franchise that has a direct sequel, so that's something to consider. But they changed the theme for the evil team in the sequel. Everyone thinks that is the best evil theme music. I'm in the minority on this, and I'm okay with that. But I think the theme for the evil team in the first game is wildly superior to the one. The second one is still cool, but the first one is better. And what really bums me out about this is that they're really great games, but they get a lot of backlash from the fan base for having less than appealing Pokemon designs. Let's call it that, because I think that game gets the most amount of backlash from fans as far as the design of the Pokemon. And it's understandable, because, like I said, the developing team focused more on the story and the music, and a little less on the design of the Pokemon. But I think some of the Pokemon from Gen 5 are just really great. A lot of them are not so good. I mean, there's literally a trash Pokemon. I'm not even making this up. There's literally a garbage Pokemon. Hold on, I'm going to look it up. I can see your confused faces. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, because like I never played an ounce of Pokemon video game in my life. Nope, lie. Pokemon Stadium. I did play that.
Okay.
Pokemon Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Sorry about that. I accidentally hit my my mic. But here we go. Let me just quickly do a screen share. There we go. You guys can see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is a Trubbish. It comes from trash and rubbish, and it evolves into Garbodor, garbage and odor.
Are those like cigarettes that are coming out of his hand?
like it.
Like that. But you can clearly tell it's kind of designed like a dust bunny.
Yep.
Yeah, literally a trash bag with a face. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why this is like the poster child for backlash on the designs of Pokemon. But like I said, they focus more on the story and less about the design of the Pokemon. And like I said, I'll send it to you guys if you want the playlist that I've been working on.
Okay.
A lot of the songs on that playlist are Gen 5 songs, and they're just the best in my opinion. Oh, I will say though, the most recent game, Sword and Shield, was a strong contender for number 1, because it also has some of the best music in Pokemon history, because some of the music, you listen to the music and you don't feel like you're playing a Pokemon game. There's one track in particular that makes you feel like you're playing a Game of Thrones game. And I'm not even making this up. I'll put it in the group chat later. It's got like this epic Scottish adventure with bagpipes and like piano and stuff, and just it literally feels like you're playing a Game of Thrones game, and you're actually playing a Pokemon game. So
I like that.
How about that?
That's some great fucking music.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
that
just
was my-
singing.
Oh yeah, when we played that in band a couple years ago, man. Oh, dude, Reigns of Castamere. Mwah. Okay, Ben, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is a classic. I'm happy nobody said it. I know me. And anything anybody would say. It's a really basic game, and I never played to this day. And it's a game that you put on your play and keep you busy.
It's
And
Pong,
what
isn't
game
it?
is that? I'll show you.
Or Pac-Man.
Tetris.
That's
Oh,
not, yeah,
okay.
Nice.
Not gonna lie. Have you heard the London Philharmonic do a Tetris theme whole orchestra thing? Because it is.
No,
I have
haven't
not.
heard that.
I'm going to send that to you guys because it actually is like something that is really cool to listen to.
I have one that I'm going to send you also because what you just said, Saul, reminded me of it. It was there's a high school in the States a number of years ago. They did for their choir, they did a medley of Nintendo
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
a cappella.
Ooh, nice.
I'll send that later.
but yeah, the London Philharmonic decided that they were going to take video game music and put it in a full orchestra, and they did Tetris as one of their
That's cool.
songs. So
Yeah, that's a good call, Ben.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like we all know the game, right? I mean, it's iconic, and then the song is iconic too.
Where's Mark Ellis when you need him?
Right? And I love how it said what was it from Russia with what? Hold on. From Russia with fun. I'm like, okay there.
I know you guys were watching AMC Movie Talk way back in the day.
Fortunately, no.
Oh, Henry my crap, 50. Have you seen it?
and I'm gonna blame you though because now I have the Tetris theme in my head.
Oh, Cindy, a couple of years ago, there was news about a Tetris
The
movie.
Tetris movie. That
Yeah.
wasn't AMC. That was Collider because I remember this.
Oh
No,
yeah.
Trilogy. The Tetris trilogy.
Trilogy.
It's going on AMC Movie Talk.
Okay.
Okay, if we're gonna talk about this, guys, there is Tetris fan fiction out there on fanfiction.net.
Is it as wild as the Harry Potter fan fiction? Woo!
I have not read it, but it exists, and it's about different pieces falling in love with each other. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, fan fiction is mess. The one that stuck in my head was a fan fiction about Hogwarts, but it was hentai with the squid in the lake and the castle. So essentially the squid was screwing the castle. And it's like its version of orgasm was all the pipes burst.
Why not, right? Why not?
And it's like, these are what these people are into.
Yeah.
All the better for them to them.
Yeah, if there's something on the internet, there's probably a version of it.
Yeah, my number one is Tetris music.
Yeah, you're right. That is a definite classic.
Yeah, that is a classic.
Okay,
You
so
know,
mine.
funny joke. We have this funny joke around here. How do you say waste of time in Russian?
Tetris.
No. Tetris. Tetris.
Well, makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
Your number one.
So my number one, this was a no-brainer for me. Like, this is my number 2 favorite game of all time, even though it is the one I've beaten the most. And the soundtrack makes it definitely feels like it belongs to this character. Arkham City.
Nice. Nice.
Want to say I've 100%ed this game 13 times.
Wow.
I just love this game so much.
I plan on buying these games when I get my PS5.
Sure.
I have not played them yet. So my list might be different after me getting back into gaming, but this is my
one on the
old school.
PlayStation. You can't buy it. You'd have to play it on their streaming. It's the only way you'd be able to do it.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, on PS4 and on the Xbox One, you can actually buy the remastered versions. But I mean, for the PS5, I don't know if the PS4 version.
It's backwards compatible.
Okay, then it
PS5.
should. Definitely, yeah. No, this is hands down my favorite of the series, and one of my favorite things is at the over the credits. There's an Easter egg of Joker singing "Only You" by I think it's Platters. Only you can make this world seem bright, and he's singing it to Batman.
Every time I hear that song, I never think of Hot Shots.
Yep, me too.
I know exactly the part you think of. I know exactly the part you think of.
But yeah, this is easily my favorite film score. It is very, very much Batman.
Yep.
Nice.
I might go back and start playing this game.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
All right. And Soul, you're number one.
So this is a game that I have not played. I want to give my thanks to Cheryl Corman, who was on Soul Talk this past Wednesday, because she is the reason. Ben already knows what this game is, and it is 2012 Journey is the name of the game. And it is an indie game that was originally a PlayStation exclusive, but now you can play it as a PC game. And it has the PlayStation 4.
I know the game.
It's a full orchestra.
Yeah.
For the music is just so beautiful. And the way Cheryl explained it, which is why I'm so excited to play this game come January, is that there's no dialogue. It is basically just the character and music is what the game is. That it was an experimentation of gaming with this because it is an indie game.
Mm-hmm.
And so the composer is Austin Wintory. And yeah, it's a full orchestra. I will put the link to the full thing. I put the music on while I was reading a book, and it made the book more like, because there was like action in the book, and it made the book like more exciting to read because the music was on in the background. So it is definitely some great music. I would not have known about it or check it out without Cheryl. But yeah, go check out Soul Talk. She's actually played the game, so she talked about the game a little bit more and the music.
Yeah, I remember this game. Yeah, good choice.
Yeah, it looks. I just put a few pictures on the screen. Yeah. It looks great.
Yep.
And there's a fun fact with it that I don't want to spoil if you end up playing the game, but there's a fun fact with the people that help you during that game while you're playing. You figure it out at the very end. And Cheryl says at the end of the game that every friend that she's had has cried at the end of the game, that it's a very emotional. And I was like, oh, so it's an emotional journey is what you're playing.
The very first time I heard about this, I think it was Greg Miller who said that this was one of his favorite games. I think it was him. So it definitely got me to check it out. And yeah, no argument here. It's a great score.
Yeah. And it's $14 on $14 or $15 on Steam is what it was when we checked it out during the game. So pretty cheap.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that brings an end to our fastest top 5 ever at an hour and a half. So as usual, at the end of every episode, we are introduced to our new topic, and it is Ben's turn this time. What is the topic?
Well, I figured since next week is a Small Down Spectacular, I thought we would do our top 5 favorite Small Down moments.
Moments or matches?
Moments.
All right.
I've already got mine.
I got my number 1. Yeah. It's really a fun topic. Top 5. Oh, Matt, did you want to say?
Yes. So Jordan, since he couldn't be here, he sent me his top 5. So I'm going to give you his honorable mentions. Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 and DK64. Final Fantasy 7. A Hat in Time, particularly the Train Rush. And his 4th honorable mention is Pokemon Lavender Town.
Is he specifically referring to the track that allegedly made Japanese children kill themselves?
What?
You never heard of that?
No.
Japanese music for Lavender Town literally made children in Japan commit suicide. So they changed it for the American version.
Jordan, you sick fuck.
Well, if you heard the American version, then
Yeah, it's probably thinking the American version. Well, let's just go on to his list because that's fucking depressing. So number 5 was Super Mario Galaxy.
Awesome.
Number 4 was Castlevania. I'm assuming it's the first Castlevania. He didn't actually specify.
Okay.
Number 3, GoldenEye. Number 2, he broke away from 50's thing, but he's just put Zelda, and it's in brackets original theme, Majora's Mask theme, Ocarina of Time, Fighting Fairy Mountain, and most importantly, the original dungeon theme. You're only supposed to choose one video game there, Jordan.
Oh, guess who? Guess who showed up?
Huh?
yeah.
Guess who showed up?
Oh, hey, dude. Okay, so it was the American version. Okay. And his number 1, Street Fighter.
Of course.
And he specifically chose Vegas theme, Ryu, Ken, and Guile. So all
Nice.
their themes.
All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, that is Jordan's list. Ben, you already gave us your topic, so yeah, I can't wait to look forward. I can't wait to that because, like I said, I've got my top 5. It hasn't changed much.
I just figured it makes sense with what's going on actually.
No, that is perfect. It's very topical.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Jordan, since you're briefly there listening, don't forget to send me your top 5 for that one as well. And okay, so on that note, Soul, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at SoulGovin on Twitter. You can find me at soul.k.govin on Instagram. And you can find me every Wednesday here on the Media Sweaties Network, where we have Soul Talk, where I just have a friend come on and we talk about all the things that we've recently done. And then also you can find me here on Sundays, most Sundays, when I can make it, and here with Get Sweaty. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
And 50.
You can find me on my channel, 50 Shades of Geek, and my second channel, 50 Shades of Gaming. I'm starting to beef it up a little bit. I started to put all my Twitch streams on there. And yeah, check out my Patreon, Pokemon Star, Cross, and Crescent, where I make a fan-made Pokemon video game based on Israel.
Right on. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's it's pretty cool. Ben, what about you?
You can find me on on every Wednesday. No, wait. Every Tuesday, shooting the breeze with Matt here. Every Saturday, we're capping the past with Matt again. Every Sunday, we're these 5 people, Matt, 50, Soul, and Jordan usually. And I'm starting a new show, Men's Hot Takes, every Friday afternoon when I take like 5 entertainment stories and I then give you my opinions on them every week.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to see the first one, and it's good. He's got something there.
That's fascinating.
And so the first episode will come out this week, hopefully.
Nice.
Okay,
Check it
and
out.
did you say Mount Schmodown or no? I don't know if you missed that one.
Oh yeah, thank you. Every Saturday on Mount Schmodown too. On a different YouTube channel. That's why I forgot about it.
Okay, so let's prepare for a long one. Okay, so Ben said you can find me with him in regards to this network. And then over on my other YouTube channel, you can find me on Schmodown 9 in Canada every week, and also the occasional Northern consultation shows. So this week for Schmoes of the North, I'm going to announce it here. Because we hit 100 subscribers, we decided to partake in 2 very long recording sessions and recorded the Schmovivor series. Basically, what that is Dave Lees, who we had on Shooting the Breeze this past week. He found a simulator online where you can either do Survivor, you can do Hunger Games, you can do Big Brother, and I think there's a few more. So basically, you just plug in stats for all the players and their images, and then you just run the simulation. And we did that, and we reacted to it. And it's supposed to be 4 episodes. First one is dropping tomorrow, I believe. Pay attention to my sultry Vince McMahon-like voice doing the opening video. That hurt like hell to do. So definitely check that out. And yeah, that's where pretty much you can find me all around. And also at soda_the_saxman on Instagram and Twitter. And on that note, farewell, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
He's really a Smash Cancer.
Yes, Stay Sweaty,
Smash
Smash Cancer, and now we're gonna go catch them all too. Apparently.
Yeah.